Good morning, friends. We are learning our subject data mining 3160714, and in that we are learning our third chapter, that is concept description and association rule mining. So let us recall what we have studied yesterday, that was support and confidence, right? That formula we have studied. Let me take you there. This was the formula, right? Support is equal to x union y dot count upon number of transactions, and confidence is x union y dot count upon x dot count, right? So, and this we check for frequency of, or you can say whether the item is frequent or not, and confidence we are checking for the rule, that is implication, right? X implies y. So this example we have seen a bit. Let us see some more. This we have seen at last, that is frequent item set generation, rule generation, and frequent item generation is very expensive. This is what we have seen yesterday, right? And applications, just recall that market basket analysis, telecommunication, credit cards, banking services, medical treatments, basketball game analysis, right? So if medical treatment is there, we can say that each patient is represented as transaction. Okay, whatever are the characteristics, what the problems were there, all the things will be considered as the transaction, right? If we say basketball game analysis, for that we can say that each game is represented as the transaction, right? Containing the ordered set of ball passes. Okay. So now for deriving the association rules, or we can say X implies Y, such type of rules, when we want to have, we can say we are having the algorithm to derive that. Yes, computationally it is very expensive, but still the algorithm is that, right? So it is a priori algorithm. What is that in it? Let us check it out. A priori algorithm is an influential algorithm for mining frequent item sets for Boolean association rule. Key concepts, they are frequent item sets. First of all, we need to find the frequent item sets, right? The sets of item which has minimum support denoted by Li for ith item set. Ith item set, that means it is having I items in it, right? Yesterday we have seen one item means one item set, two items means two items set, right? That way, I item set, that is ith item set, means I items are there, right? And the sets of items which has the minimum support, means which is having minimum support greater than or equal to support which is greater than or equal to minimum support, that is the frequent, and that is denoted as Li, the set, because this we need to remember, because whatever process we'll be doing, there will be writing this is Li, right? So frequent item set is Li. I is for item set. Okay. A priori property. This is very important. A priori property. Without satisfying the a priori property, we cannot proceed further. At a particular level, we first have to check whether a priori property is satisfied or not. Then only we can proceed further. So what is that property? It says any subset of frequent item set must be frequent. What does this mean? It means that if I say A and B, if I want to make combo of these two, and I want to say that this two, that means AB combo of it is frequent, that means both A and B individually must be frequent, right? If I say that A, comma B, comma C is frequent, oh, एक minute. B and C. If I say this combo is frequent, then all of its subset must be frequent. If not, then we cannot consider ABC as the combination. Got it? So subset of ABC, that means AB, AC, BC, right? ABC, all the things we have to consider, right? So that is the example, but let me remove this here. So we can see the next property, join operation is to find LK. LK means L means frequent, right? Here we have considered Li. For that we have said it is frequent. So LK means it is frequent for K item set, right? So LK, a candidate set, that is what K item sets is generated by joining Lk minus 1 with itself. What does that mean? If I want to have, say, A and B is there, right? Now, what I'll do is, we want to find Lk, right? We want to find Lk. It is the set of candidate K item sets generated by joining with itself, right? So you can say AB is at, say, you can say this Lk minus 1. So we can say two item set is there. Here you can be having, say, BC, right? So these two items are there, suppose in two item set. So now if we want to generate the next level, that is L3, then we can say we'll join this L2 with itself. That means what? This AB is here. Now if AB and BC is here, if I join with itself, then I can say ABC can be there, right? So joining the items of the Lk minus 1 to have the Lk. That is next level, right? We'll see the example. You can have the clear-cut idea. Real world example. Okay, so these three things must be clear to you. For a priori algorithm, frequent item set, that's what we have to check first, right? Then after a priori property, that any subset of frequent item set must be frequent. And the third thing is join operation. That is to find Lk, will join Lk minus 1 with itself. Okay, very simple is that, but it is very important. So let's say here, bread and butter, this combo, it is having, say, 2 as the support count. And, and we can say that it is frequent only if bread is frequent as well as butter is frequent, right? That is, we can say a priori property, right? All of its subsets must be frequent. If we say that bread, butter, cheese, if we want to consider these combo, then bread, butter, cheese, bread, cheese, all must be frequent, right? To find Lk, a set of candidate K item sets is generated by joining Lk minus 1 with itself. I have given you the example with AB. Here we can see the real world example where we are having, say, bread, butter, cheese. If we want to consider, that is Lk. So for that, we will consider the L2 join with itself, right? So say L2, two item set, that is bread, butter, cheese, and bread, cheese. So from this, we join with itself. So we'll be getting it as bread, butter, cheese, right? Okay. So the a priori algorithm in a nutshell, these are the few description of it. Otherwise, we will need to have all these three things which we have just seen: frequent item set, a priori property, and join operation. Right? Now, after doing that, we'll be generating the rules. Fine. Okay, let's see. Find the frequent item sets. Now, a little bit in detail, what 3 points we have considered. The sets of items that have minimum support. Fine. A subset of a frequent item set must also be frequent item set. That is a priori property. Right? So we can take the example, say AB is frequent item set if A and B both are frequent. Iteratively find frequent item sets with cardinality from 1 to k item set. Okay. Use the frequent item sets to generate association rules. Now, let us have the idea how we can generate the rules, as well as we can say how we can combine and say from 0 will be able to have say LK, L1, L2, L3 to LK, right? So for that we can say, first of all, say we are having null, nothing is there. Okay. Then after we consider, say 5 items are there with us, A, B, C, D, E. So here we can say one item set is there because individual items are there. Now using this, we will have L2, right? So we can say we'll combine this AB, BC, AD, AE, B, D, BE, CD, CE, right? That way we'll combine and have the next level, right? See, AB and BA, they are same. Sequence doesn't matter, right? So we'll not consider that. So this way the next level items are being created. Again next, this is 2 item set. Now if you want to have 3 item set, we need to combine all this, right? So say ABC, then ABD, ABE, right? ABC, then we can say ABD. Now if it is already being considered, we do not have to write it again, right? So we'll consider this with all these items. Again we'll take this, take join with all other items, right? So this is understood to us, right? So this is one such frequent item set generation P, right? And at say 4 we are having all this. At 5th level we'll be having A, B, C, D, E. All the items are combined, right? So this way we'll be doing the candidate item set generation. Candidate item set generation is CI. So till now we haven't talked of that. We have talked of only LI, right? So what is the difference between this LI and CI? CI is the possible candidate item sets. AB, AC. So I can say ABC can be there at next level. But priority property says ABC can only be there if AB and AC both are free, right? That is, all of its subsets must be frequent. But if we are not having that satisfied, that is at L2 we do not have all the subsets available as frequent, then we can say we can generate the candidate sets. We will consider ABC as part of candidate set, but it will not be part of LI. Got the point? LI means candidate sets who are frequent. Got it? So that's the difference between CI and LI. So this is the pseudocode of the algorithm, but better we see the example, right? This is what we have already seen by the sentences, right? And the thing is, what we should have in our mind is LK is set of frequent item sets of size K. That is with minimum support, right? And CK is set of candidate item set of size K, potentially frequent items. ये हो सकता है पर है, then it is LI, right? If it can be or potentially it is frequent, then we can say it is candidate set. But when we say it is frequent, then it is LK. Got it? Right? This says that say L1 is frequent item set. After that, we can say we'll combine that candidate generated from LK. So we'll join LK with itself to generate LK plus 1, right? So that's what we are doing here. And what we check for candidates in CK plus 1 with minimum support. That is what is required, right? And we'll have the union of it. This is union of it, right? So we'll combine all the items for that. This is a pseudocode only for that. Prune step. See here, the thing is given as join step and prune step. So join step is what we know that CK is generated by joining LK minus 1 with itself. See, some authors are saying it as CK plus 1 is generated by combining CK with itself. Some others are saying that we can have CK with CK minus 1. It is same thing, right? Notation is different, nothing more than that. Okay, that's why I have put both the things. And this I have typically put because we want to say this is the join step and next one is the prune step. You can say what is prune step? Till now we haven't seen such thing, right? It is the same thing which we have already seen. Frequent item sets, join operation, and then after a priori property. These things only are there. So here we can say join step, that means CK is generated by joining LK minus 1 with itself. Prune step, that is any K minus 1 item set is not frequent. कब नहीं होगा? When subset of it are not frequent. That's the priori property, right? But if I ask you what is the prune step, you will get confused. What is that? We haven't heard of it, right? That's why I have put this figure also. Otherwise, this will remain same, right? It is a pseudocode only. But these names you may not have seen. That's why I have put this description also. That is 3 things you can understand. It is same and that will be able to see in the pseudocode and here with join step and prune step, right? So do not get confused that ma'am has put the same algorithm twice. Okay. Now let us see the example. That is a priori algorithm. Let us see. Say the database is given. You can say database only 4 items are there. But for calculating, it will be easier if the maximum 10 or 16 PIDs are there. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to calculate that in the exam time limit, isn't it? But for our implementation, we'll be using fine because computer will be doing that, right? We just have to write the program. So here, the database is given where 4 transactions are there, 100, 200, 300, and 400. And according to that, the items are there. Now here items we do not consider like bread, butter, cheese, but the items are say numbers. So say 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the numbers we are considering. So our, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our item set is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Okay. Now we scan the database. Good. Come, come. Finally reach. Okay, so at good time, let me just tell you what we have seen in brief. So we can see this example. I can understand your situation. Boss hasn't come. Okay, so a priori algorithm we want to use to derive the rules, right? So what is there in this algorithm? These 3 things are there. Key concepts. First is frequent item sets. We need to generate the frequent item sets, right? We know when can we say that item is frequent? When it is having the support count which is greater than or equal to the minimum support, right? So that is that. First thing. Second thing is the a priori property, very important property, which says that if I want to consider say ABC, then all of its subset must be frequent. AB. If I say AB means two items. If I want to consider combo of it, A and B must be frequent individual, right? Then only we have taken the example of bread and butter. We haven't considered the combo of bread and jewelry, right? We haven't considered that, right? Because both items must be frequent. Then only if we are making the combo, it will be useful. Otherwise, it will not be useful. Right? Okay. So that is the a priori property. The third one is join operation. Now, how can we join? Individual items we have taken. Then after we are making the combo of it. So one, then after we join with itself to get the combo of two. Then after we can say two items are there. We combine them to have the three items, right? So that is the join operation. And it says that LK is frequent item set. LK is frequent item set of K items, right? And if we want to get next level, that is LK plus 1, then whatever LK is there, we join itself with LK, right? So we'll be getting the next level, that is LK plus 1 item set, right? This is the basic of it. The example I can give you is bread, butter, say two items are there. We can consider these as frequent only if bread is also frequent and butter is also frequent, right? To find LK, a set of candidate K item sets is generated by joining LK minus 1 itself. Okay, that means, say if I want to have bread, butter, cheese combo, then all of its subsets, bread, cheese, butter, cheese, all these subsets must be frequent and that should be available in L2. Then L2 will be joined with itself to create the L3, right? L1 is frequent item set where one item is there. L2 is combo of two items, right? That is two item set. L3 means three item sets but which are frequent. Okay? Now say if we are having say A, B, C, D, E, five individual items, then we can say we can combine them as AB, AC, AD, AE, BC, BD, BE, CD, CE, and DE, right? Combine. When we combine the set with itself to have the next level candidates, possible candidates, right? See, candidate means what? Person is not yet selected, right? Candidate means person is not yet selected. If it is selected, then you can say it somebody else. When we say election is है, हाँ ये candidate है, selected candidate. Now he is say MLA or corporate person or whatsoever, but we give them the different. Suppose in our department we require to have one ad hoc assistant professor, we consider the interview, right? But till that time we say that he is a candidate. After the interview process, person is selected and we say him or her as ad hoc assistant professor or assistant professor or associate professor or whatsoever, right? But till the time it is not selected, it is said as the candidate. Fine. So that's what we are saying that here this is possible candidate item sets. See, we can say election is there. So we can say from each and every area, 2, 3 candidates must be there, right? But are they all selected after the election? No. Got it? So here what we are saying is these are the possible candidate sets. They are not frequent here. They can be frequent, right? Say 3 persons are there in our area. They are the candidates for say voting process. So they are candidates. But do we select all of them? It is not possible, isn't it? Only one is selected. So selected one is in our case is said as the frequent, right? Now it is nothing like here we are having 3 items and all of them cannot be frequent. All of them can also be frequent, right? For election, we are having only one seat, so we'll consider only one selected item. But here, whoever, whichever are the candidate item sets, they all can be frequent. But when can we say they are frequent? The condition is their support is greater than or equal to the minimum support which is given to us. Fine? That condition is that. Fine? Okay. So this is the possible candidate item sets, and that is called as CI. Frequent item sets, we are saying it as LI, right? So that we need to consider. Now here, the algorithm is a pseudocode. LK is set of frequent item sets of size K. CK is set of candidate item sets of size K, right? So this is LK means frequent, CK means candidate items. Fine. And what we do here, say from L1, we'll be having say L2, L3, L4, L5, till the items are there, isn't it? So we'll generate the next level item sets. That is the combination of L1 is there. So join L1 with itself to have L2. Join L2 with itself to have L3. Join L3 with itself to have L4. Right? This way we continue. Thereafter, we need to consider the a priori property also. That means all of the subsets must be frequent, then only it will be there in a particular level, right? Okay. So that is what is there in this. And frequent must be there with minimum support, right? In this parenthesis I have written, candidate set, that means it is potentially frequent. Right? That's why I have given you the example of voting. So you can understand that. Now, again, pseudocode of a priori algorithm. What's new in that? New in that only thing is the new names of the steps are given. First is join step. We already know that CK can be generated with the help of joining CK minus 1 with itself. Right? L3, if we want to consider, we join L2 with itself. Right? If we say candidate set, that means C3 we can generate by combining C2 with itself, right? Okay. So that only is there, but it is said as the joint step, right? If I do not show you, then you will not be able to have the idea of the name of this step. And in Viva, if somebody is asking you, what is joint step? You will get confused, right? That is why I have put one more slide showing you the algorithm only, but with this step names. Okay. Somebody may write like this, or somebody may write like what we have seen before. Here, right? Here, people have considered it as CK plus 1. Next level we can generate with considering CK joined with itself. Right? Here, that author has written like this. अब कोई और बंदा होगा तो क्या लिखेगा भाई सी के को जनरेट करना है सो आई नीड टू हैव सी के माइनस 1 joined with it. It happens, right? Here this is for c k plus 1 only, but it may happen कोई बंदा ऐसे लिखेगा, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? आर यू गेटिंग दैट? कोई L0 से शुरू करेगा, C0 से शुरू करेगा, कोई C1 से शुरू करेगा. It doesn't matter, right? If we want to consider next level candidates at generation, then we have to consider the past one and join with its. Got it? That is the concept. So here, the next is the prune step. What is that? Any k minus 1 item set is not frequent, cannot be a subset of frequent k item set. What do we mean to say? हमने जब combine किया था, a combo we were making, we have made the combo of bread and butter. Have we made the combo of bread and jewelry? No. Why not? Because one is frequent, other is not frequent. Right? So we cannot have the combo of these two because it will not be beneficial to us. Same thing it is there. It is the a priori property. right? It says that if we want to consider Lk plus 1, then all of its subsets must be required, right? The same thing is that here it is being said as the prune step. Okay, so do not confuse it. It's the same thing, but different names are there. Okay, now let us take this example. The a priori algorithm example, here we are having only 4 transactions in the database. In real life, it will never be there, right? For your own data set, in that also we are having so many rows are there, isn't it? But here for calculation, it is simple. That will be better, right? Okay, so what are the items available here? Bread, butter, cheese? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? These are the item set. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we will scan this database. We will scan this database, and then after we can say what we will do is we'll find the support of each and every item. Support count we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minimum support given is 50%. 50%, that means what should be the count of it? Yes. Yes, exactly. Half of the total transactions, isn't it? 50%, that means half of the transactions. Total transactions are 4. So half of it is 2. So we should have the count that should be greater than or equal to 2. Then we can say that item is 50. Fine. It's so easy. See, it may be the case that in some cases, in some problems, it will be given minimum support. That is, in this case, 50%. In problem statement, it may be given as minimum support count is this, right? So that we need to consider. Support count, that means we can directly consider. But if 50% or 25% is given, then we need to consider according to the transactions, number of transactions. Okay? Samjhai na? Okay. So we are finding the support count of each and every item. Now we know that how to find it, isn't it? Let me show you for at least one. One, how many times it is available? One, then two, right? 2 times 1 is available in the database. So we can say the support count is 2. Same for 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll repeat the procedure. That is, we'll scan the database and we'll find the count of that particular item in the database, right? So we can say it is 1, 2, for 1 it is 2, for 2 it is 3, for 3 it is 3, for 4 it is 1, and for 5 it is 3. Now you can see that here we have written it as C1. C1 is candidate set of one item set. Means only one item is there in it. Okay, you can say 5 items are there. Yeah, they are individual items. Combo is not, right? Combo is not there. Individual items are there. So now for this, what we should check is whether they are having the support which is greater than or equal to minimum support or not. Because if it is so, then only we can say they are the frequent items, right? So we check what is the minimum support count, that is 2. So this will pass, this will pass, this will pass, 4 will not pass, right? So we'll remove that from L1. In L1, that 4 will not be there, right? Because it is not frequent. So it is useless to consider it in the further process. Fine? Okay, so we have removed that. So we can say this is L1. So 1, 2, 3, 5. So we have returned the support count also. Now we know that for C2, that is candidate set. Candidate, that means possibly frequent, not necessarily frequent. It can be frequent, right? So how we can generate that? That is by combining L1 with itself. By combining L1 with itself, right? Okay. So what will we do? Combine this. So 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 5, 2, 3, 2, 5, 3, 5. Right? We can understand this very easily. So that's what we have written here, and this is C2. C2, it is potentially frequent. It is not yet checked whether it is frequent or not. So I cannot write it as L2. I can write it as only C2. Got it? Fine. Okay. Now we'll scan the database and find the support, right? So here it was not there. Now we are putting it. We find the combination. Say 1, 2. 1, 2 is available. No. Here only available. So it is one time, right? So we'll find for all these items what is the support count available. We'll write it here. Now we'll have to compare that with minimum support count. So we can say this 1, 2 is not crossing. So mark it. 1, 5 is also not crossing. So mark it and remove it from L2. Right? So that's what we have put here. Fine. Okay. Now, now here we have a check for the a priori property. I told you, na, it is here. We haven't checked that. It is because 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 5, 2, 3, 2, 5, 3, 5. If we consider subset of them, those will be individual items. Yes, they are already frequent. They are already frequent, right? We need to check it out, but they are already frequent, so we need no need to check it out, right? 1 to 2, when we are going, one item set to two item set, whichever are frequent, that only we have combined, right? So no need to check whether we can have 1, 2, 1, 3 or not, because the subsets are already frequent. So we do not check at this particular level. But now we'll have to check, right? Because if we consider 3 item set, means 3 items combo, then it may be the case that few subsets are frequent, few subsets may not be frequent, right? So that will check. So these are the L2, right? And their support. Now, C3, 2, 3, 5. We can have 1, 2, 3. We can have 1, 3, 5. Yes or no? When we join L2 with itself, we can have 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. We can have that. Yes or no? But here in C2, C3, only 2, 3, 5 is written. Why? Yes, because we are checking for a priori property. All of its subsets are frequent. It is needed to be frequent. Then only we will consider them as part of the C. Right? Now, C3 to L3 when we want to do, we'll check for the minimum support. Right? But our priori property needs to be checked that all of its subset must be frequent. Now, if I say 1, 2, 3, if I say combining this, will be having 1. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 means 1, 2, 1, 3 must be frequent, right? 1, 2, 1, 3 and 2, 3, right? All must be frequent. All must be frequent means all available in L2. Then only we can have them in C3. Yes? Samjhay? We consider bread and butter combination. We do not consider the combination of bread and jewelry because that is not frequent. Getting the point? That is the a priori property. We consider the combination of frequent items only. If they are not frequent, then we will not make combo out of it. Right? Now, 2 items are there. So we'll need to have 3 items set in such a way that all of its subset must be frequent. Right? Otherwise, it is useless to combine. Fine? Okay. So here you can say 1, 2, 3 if we consider, if we want to consider, then 1, 2, 1, 3 and 2, 3 all must be frequent. They must be available in L2. But 1, 2 is there? It's not there. So we'll not consider 1, 2, 3. Fine, we combine it. But it doesn't satisfy the a priori property. It is a proving step. Right? So we'll not write that here. We'll only write this 2, 3, 5. Now, what we need to do is we need to check the minimum support. Now, what is the count of this? It is 2, 3, 5. The count is 2. We scan the database and check it out. 2, 3, 5 combination is available how many times? So it is available 2 times, which is having support that is greater than or equal to minimum. So that becomes the frequency, right? Now we are having L3, in that we are having 2, 3, 5. Join with itself. Will we be having next level item? 2, 3, 5 join with itself. So whether we'll be able to have 1, 2, 3, 5. 1 is already not there. Can we have 2, 3, 4, 5? 4 is not there. How can we combine and have the next level item? So no more item set can be generated. So we'll stop at that. Right? No more item is left now, which we can combine to have the next level items. Right? So we do not do anything after this. Right? So this is the a priori algorithm. Right? This is what is the thing which we have to do. Now we have to make the rules out of this. That means what? If I consider this L3, 2, 3, 5, 3 items are therein. So which rule I can generate out? 2 implies 3, 5. 2, 3 implies 5. 2, 5 implies 3. Combination is there, no? So we can make rules out of it. 2, 3, 5. So combine. 2 implies 3, 5. 2, 3 implies 5. 2, 5 implies 3. Getting it? All the combinations we can try. That is the rules we are writing. But, whether they are the acceptable rules, that we need to check. For that, we'll check the confidence of that rule must be greater than or equal to the minimum confidence. Getting it? So, this is what we have talked of before. That is, if minimum support is 50%, number of transaction is 4. So, minimum support count will be 2, right? We already talked of this, but still I am saying, in this example, it is given minimum support is equal to 50%, right? So, 4, that is total number of transactions, multiply by 50%, that means the minimum support count will be equal to 2, right? That's what we'll be checking for the L1, L2, L3, L4, right? So here you can say 135 also is not considered as part of C3. 1, 2, 3 we have talked of. We can say 135. That is also not part of C3. You can see it here. Is it there? 135 in C3? It's not there. Why not there? Because we can say a priori property needs to be checked. And we can say if 1, 3, 3, 5, 1, 5 all must be available in L2, then only we can consider it as frequent. But it is not so. It is not part of it, right? So we'll not consider 1, 3, 5. Okay. Same way we have talked of the 1, 2, 3. For that also you can say 1, 2 is not part of L2. So we cannot combine that. Okay. So that is all about the what? That is, we can say a priori algorithm, right? That's all for today. We'll stop here because the time is over.